hardest lesson I have had to learn as an adult is the relentless need to keep going, no matter how broken I feel inside. This truth is raw, unfiltered, and painfully universal. Life doesn't stop when we are exhausted, when our hearts are shattered, or when our spirits feel threadbare. It keeps moving, unyielding, indifferent, demanding that we keep pace. There is no pause button for grief, no intermission for healing, no moment where the world gently steps aside and allows us to mend. Life expects us to carry our burdens in silence, to push forward despite the weight of all we carry inside.
I've always thought about the future. When I was a young child, I wanted to be a teenager. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be an adult. And when I was an adult, I wanted to get further in life. And eventually, I managed to get married, have children, buy a house, settle down. And that gave me a chance not only to think about the future, but to worry about it. Do I earn enough? Am I doing a good job? Am I being a good husband? Am I bringing up my children correctly? What if something goes wrong? What will people think of me? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I start doing this? What if I stop doing this? I could worry about anything. Eventually, I got diagnosed with what's called low-level anxiety. Now, when somebody told me I had low-level anxiety, I thought that meant not very important anxiety. It's not very significant. It must be mild. And it even gave me something more to worry about. Let me read you something. Low-level anxiety is actually a chronic condition that involves persistent feelings of worry or unease. That's me. Key features of low-level anxiety are excessive worrying and overthinking, difficulty sleeping or eating, feeling nervous for no reason, restlessness, memory problems, self-doubt, concentration challenges. That's me, and me. Now, if I'm hitting a chord with you, this is the point where I have to say, go get help. I'm going to be talking about my anxiety and what I've done about it. If you are suffering from anxiety, or if these things are starting to resonate with you, go and speak to your doctor. They can help you. They can get you the resources that you need. I am not the solution to the problem. I'm just explaining my anxiety.
The cruelest part, no one really prepares us for this. As children, we are fed stories of resilience wrapped in neat, hopeful endings. Tales where pain has purpose, and every storm clears to reveal a bright horizon. But adulthood strips away those comforting illusions. It teaches us that survival is rarely poetic. More often than not, it's about showing up when you'd rather disappear, smiling through pain no one sees, and carrying on despite feeling like you're unraveling from the inside out.
Anxiety, we often attribute to teenagers, teenage angst, worrying about the future, on the edge of adulthood, but not quite there. But another group that suffers from it quite badly, but keeps it very quiet, are the elderly. Anxiety is very common amongst the elderly or the people over 50. Bet you didn't think you'd be called elderly. Will I have enough money now that I'm on a fixed income? Will my health remain? Will my partner's health remain? Will I be mobile? Will I lose my hearing? Will I lose my sight? So many things to worry about that most of the time they keep quiet about. Anxiety is common with aging, but it is not part of aging if it is interfering with your life.
And yet somehow we persevere. That's the quiet miracle of being human. Even when life is relentless, even when hope feels distant, we keep moving. We stumble, we break, we fall to our knees, but we get up. And in doing so, we uncover a strength we never knew we had. We learn to comfort ourselves in the ways we wish others would. We become the voice of reassurance we once searched for. Slowly, we realize that resilience isn't always about grand acts of bravery. Sometimes it's just a whisper. keep going.
The solution to anxiety is mindfulness. Mindfulness means living in the moment. It means not looking about the future. It's living in the here and now. To use modern parlance is to say to be present. A simple example would be looking at a hill like this. You can't be worrying about anything else when you're having to go up and down a hill like this. You have to be mindful, you have to be present, you have to be concentrating on the here and now. You can't be thinking about other things, otherwise things will go badly wrong. So you must be mindful, you must be present, and therefore you cannot be anxious. It will automatically eliminate anxiety. There are a number of simple strategies to overcome anxiety, and here are the ones that I use. Not surprisingly, number one, time spent in nature. How can it be any better and more relaxing and more mindful than being out in nature, especially when you're doing some exercise? Now, obviously for me, that's cycling, preferably mountain biking, preferably cycling trails. That's my happy place. The wind is getting up, so please forgive me if it's making a bit of a wind noise on the camera. But the second key thing for me is quality sleep. I know I get really ratty if I have less than 6 hours sleep. I can get by on 7 hours sleep, but I really much need to be heading towards 8 hours sleep. Now, I'm old, I'll wake up once, maybe sometimes twice in the middle of the night, but I still need to have 8 hours in bed and a minimum of 7 hours good sleep per night. The third key thing for me is quality diet. Full of natural fruits and vegetables and high quality proteins. I know, looking at me, I probably eat too much of a good quality diet, but it's still a lack of processed foods is very important for me. The fourth key thing for me is a lack of stimulants such as coffee and alcohol. Yeah, you need to be able to manage or eliminate both of them if possible. I certainly manage the coffee I drink very little, and I've eliminated the alcohol. In addition to these four key pillars, for me, keeping notes, journaling, writing things down is a great way of getting stuff out of my mind, because if it's out of my mind onto paper, I know I can deal with it later on. I haven't got to worry about it now. There's also the ability to recognize when you're getting stressed or when you're getting anxious, and just to have some simple strategies for how you're going to deal with that. And as much as anything else, it's recognizing I'm getting anxious, therefore I need to calm myself down. I should say at this point, one of the things that people say to anxious people is, well, don't worry about it. Yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to not worry about it, but it's just built into my DNA to worry about it. What it is, it could be anything. And lastly, social contact. Having a good group of friends and family around you who are supportive of you, it's invaluable.
Yes, it's exhausting. Yes, it's unfair. And yes, there are days when the weight of it all feels unbearable. But every small step forward is proof that we haven't given up, that we are still fighting, still holding on, still refusing to let the darkness consume us. That quiet defiance, choosing to exist, to try, to hope, is the bravest thing we can do.